I mean, as good as it could be right now. Just very excited to be out there with the group that we have this year. And I'm just really excited to, just get to work each and every day.
Is this sooner than you expected?
Say it again.
Is this sooner than you expected to be out here?
I mean, I just trusted the process in my rehab. I'm still rehabbing. Yeah.
When did they let you know that you would be able to go at least a little bit first day of camp?
Really just talks within, my rehab people, all the trainers in there, and, coaches and Howie and Nick, just understanding my process and, what steps I need to, take moving forward.
How did you attack the mental part of it when you weren't able to get on the field?
Just being where my feet are, right? I'm not out there with the guys, but I can take mental reps as much as I can. Just practicing like a pro mentally, so physically and mentally when I get out on the field, I gradually know what I'm doing, day by day.
Vic said he looks for instincts in a young linebacker. How much of that do you think is natural? How much can you actually improve on that?
I mean, I would say, most of my instincts are, God-gifted abilities, that I display out here on the field every day, as much as I can. So
They have you listed as limited. What kind of, they have your participation listed
I can't hear you. I can't.
They have your participation listed as limited. What kind of restrictions are there on you right now?
I mean, right now, I'm just taking it day by day. Like I said earlier, man, I'm really excited to, be out here and play football again. Like I said earlier, I just was taking mental reps a lot. So now I can get out here and, fly around.
Will you be able to meet pads on Monday?
Yes.
What kind of learner are you? Like, was the challenge of getting into the playbook something that you really embraced and you found very natural?
Yeah. I think, just being a linebacker in general, you always got to, be a lifelong learner, at any given aspect, honestly. With me and my process, everything was really mental. It's still mental. Just keeping my mental in my eyes in the playbook helps me very well, when I come out on the field and perform.
Are you learning both inside linebacker spots?
Say it again?
Are you learning both inside linebacker spots?
Yes.
And then I think after the first practice, so you talked with Wash after practice.
Yeah.
How much do they bring you along in terms of like edge stuff?
Yeah. I mean, I think, the biggest thing is just focusing on, the now, focusing on, being a great linebacker. And then, of course, on the side after practice, just get a couple reps in, just with my pass rushing ability and, making sure I'm taking the right steps in that.
A few times after you're taking a rep or something, you go right up to Zach Vaughn and you're talking to him.
Yeah.
How vital of a resource has Vaughn been for you?
Very resourceful. I mean, he's a great leader. He's a great guy to, just be around, not even just in football, but just in life, just talking to him outside of here. I really appreciate him.
Sort of piggybacking off that with Nakobe Dean, because he was rehabbing during the spring with you. You guys were talking a lot. How helpful has he been to sort of lock in with those mental reps? How helpful has he been to lock in with some of those mental reps when you had to take them?
Yeah. I mean, Nakobe, he's been there and done it, so he's a guy that can help me learn it, just as much as he learned it in the past and, just pass it on to the, to the rookies in the room. That's a great guy, also a great leader, and, he helps us.
How much more involved is Vic's defense than maybe Alabama was always a Big Ten program, but how much more involved is this defense for a linebacker than it was at Alabama?
I mean, I think, that was the past, of course. This defense is a very great defense, along with our great defensive coordinator that we have here. I think, just stepping into this year for our defense is, step-by-step process. Everybody just being on one accord and communicating.
What's it been like to learn from Vic Fangio as a rookie to come in? Fangio, obviously, a ton of experience. What's it been like learning from him so far?
It's been great. He doesn't do extra talking. He gets straight to the point, and he expects you, to understand it and to apply it on the field.
He's worked with some pretty famous Hall of Fame type guys who have been in the Hall of Fame at inside linebacker spot. He said he spent a lot of time in the spring talking to you. Is there one or two things that stood out in terms of like what he has conveyed to you about how to play the position that maybe you didn't know before?
Yeah. I mean, I would say, just coming into the NFL, it's different structural things, from a coaching standpoint that, he explains, within the defensive scheme that we have here, and, the structure and, the linebacker position that I'm playing, just understanding that role, knowing how to play it, and, I mean, just performing at my best when I get out here on the field.
Growing up pretty close to here, have you had any family, friends come out to camp yet to watch or anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. I had my mom, my dad, my brother, and my uncle. He came out, so it's very great being back home. So family could come out here and watch me.
Kobe sideline right now, there's a starting role up for grabs. How are you balancing just the need to get healthy and get back into the swing of things, with also the prospect that you could potentially compete for that role?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just blessed that I'm healthy right now. And like I said, man, I'm really happy to be out here on the field and flying around with our defense, being around the offensive guys, and just learning and soaking in a lot of knowledge as much as I can, so I can apply it every time I get in the field.
Has Vic been from any of those guys? Jeff was alluding to the great linebackers. You brought up any of those names. Has Vic, when he's talking to you, mentioned any of those guys? Or brought up the names of the great linebackers he's coaching and so who?
No, he hasn't.
Last one.
So film, he hasn't showed you film of specific players yet?
Say it again?
He hasn't showed any film of specific players to you yet?
I mean, we watch, different defenses sometimes, understanding the schemes, understanding, just the situations in the game, the down and distances, what offensive schemes there are, in the league. So